Tonight we embark on a quiet exploration, a journey into the heart of a Zen story that whispers of profound stillness and the treasures found not in grasping, but in letting be. Imagine, if you will, a secluded clearing, bathed in the soft silver glow of a rising moon. The air is cool and clean, carrying the faint scent of pine and damp earth from a recent evening shower. Perhaps a distant wind chime, hanging from the eaves of an unseen temple, murmurs a gentle metallic melody, a soft invitation to peace. You find yourself far from the day's demands, in a space where only the breath and the quiet hum of the night exist. As you settle into this space, as your shoulders soften and your mind begins to quieten, what if true richness isn't something you can hold, but something that holds you, something that simply is? Before we begin, feel free to like and subscribe, but only if your heart resonates. We'd love to know where you're listening from tonight. What little corner of the world is sharing this quiet moment with us? Now breathe in, exhale slowly, and let's begin our quiet journey together. The path you walk is indistinct, more a suggestion than a clearly defined trail. It winds gently upwards, cushioned by fallen pine needles that soften your every step, muffling sound, drawing you further into a world of deepening quiet. The last light of the sun has long since faded from the western sky, leaving behind a canvas of deepening indigo, a velvet cloak pricked now with the first shy stars. You feel the temperature dropping, a cool caress on your skin, a welcome release from the lingering warmth of the day. This coolness seems to clarify the air, making the sense of the forest more pronounced. The resinous aroma of pine, the damp, loamy smell of earth preparing for night, and a faint, almost sweet fragrance of unseen night-blooming flowers that release their perfume only to the darkness and the moon. Your breath, which you noticed just moments ago, now finds its own natural rhythm, an easy ebb and flow that mirrors the gentle sigh of the wind as it moves through the high branches of the ancient trees flanking your path. These trees, tall and majestic, stand like silent sentinels, their dark silhouettes stark against the gradually illuminating sky. Their leaves, if you could see them clearly, would be a tapestry of greens, olives, and jades. But now they are simply shapes, masses of darkness that rustle and whisper secrets to the passing breeze, a language understood not by the mind, but by the heart. Each rustle, each sigh of the wind, seems to carry away a little more of the day's residue, the lingering thoughts, the half-finished conversations, the subtle tensions held in your shoulders and jaw. You consciously let them go, releasing them to the cool night air, feeling a lightness begin to spread through you, as if unseen burdens are gently lifting and drifting away on the breeze. The moon, your gentle guide on this quiet journey, has begun its ascent in earnest. When you first noticed it, it was perhaps a pale sliver, caught in the tangled branches of the lower trees, a shy observer. But now, as you continue your unhurried pace, it has risen higher, growing in luminescence, a soft silver disk pouring its gentle light onto the path ahead, illuminating your way without intrusion. It's not a harsh, revealing light like that of the midday sun, but a tender, ethereal glow that transforms the ordinary into something magical. Shadows lengthen and dance, playing tricks on the eye, making familiar shapes seem mysterious and new, inviting your imagination to soften and play. This soft illumination doesn't demand attention. It simply offers itself, a quiet presence in the vast darkness, a beacon of serenity. You notice the way the moonlight catches the occasional dewdrop on a fern frond, turning it into a momentary diamond, a tiny spark of brilliance in the encompassing stillness. These small details, often lost in the brightness and busyness of day, now stand out, each one a tiny miracle of the night, a testament to the beauty that reveals itself in quietude. The journey isn't about reaching a specific destination quickly. It's about this very process of walking, of being present to the unfolding moments, each step a meditation. The path itself seems to understand this, never demanding too much effort, always inviting you to slow down, to listen, to feel the earth beneath your feet and the air on your skin. There's a palpable sense that this place, this moment, has been waiting for you. Not in an expectant, demanding way, but simply existing in its own serene rhythm. And you have, by some gentle alignment of your inner state with the outer world, found your way into its quiet embrace. The striving to find peace, the searching for a quiet mind that can often feel like another form of agitation, seems to dissolve here, effortlessly. The very act of walking in this cool, moonlit air, of breathing deeply the night's pure breath, is the peace you might have been seeking elsewhere. This is a gentle paradox of the inner journey. When you cease your frantic search for stillness, when you stop trying to force your mind into silence, stillness often finds you, like a shy creature emerging from the depths of the woods when it senses it is truly safe and welcome. The teaching of impermanence whispers on the wind, carried in the cool air. The day has passed, its light and warmth gone, replaced by the cool dark of night and the gentle radiance of the moon. The moon itself is a profound symbol of change, waxing and waning in an eternal cycle, never static, always in transition. Even the stars, seemingly fixed points of light, are part of a vast cosmic dance, ever shifting across eons. Your own thoughts, which earlier might have clamored for attention, now drift by like solitary clouds across the vast night sky, observed with a detached tenderness but not clung to. There is a deep comfort in this constant flow, a quiet realization that nothing needs to be held onto too tightly, for everything is in a state of becoming, of passing, of gentle transformation. This understanding doesn't bring sadness or a sense of loss, but a profound sense of liberation, an acceptance of the natural order of things, the beautiful dance of appearing and disappearing. As you round a gentle bend in the path, the trees open up slightly, creating a small clearing, and the moonlight floods the space with a more generous light. You can see the texture of the ground more clearly now, the way the small, smooth stones are embedded in the earth, the delicate tracery of fallen leaves forming a soft carpet. The air here feels even cooler, carrying a hint of moisture, perhaps from a hidden stream or a nearby pond whose surface reflects the sky. The silence is profound, yet it is not an empty silence, not a void. It is filled with the subtle sounds of the night, the distant, melancholic call of an owl, the rhythmic chirping of crickets creating a natural symphony, the almost imperceptible hum of the earth itself breathing beneath you. These sounds don't disturb the stillness. They are part of it, woven into its fabric like threads of silver in a dark, velvet tapestry. You pause for a moment, simply to stand and absorb it all, to let the peace of this place permeate your being. Your body feels relaxed, your mind calm and remarkably open. The upward slope has been gentle, almost unnoticeable, yet you realize you have gained some elevation, a subtle shift in perspective. Looking back, the way you came is already lost in shadow, a reminder of the journey already taken, and ahead, the path continues, beckoning you further into the heart of the quiet night, deeper into stillness. There is no rush, no sense of urgency, only the moon, your silent companion, hanging suspended in the inky sky, a pearl of serene light. Its glow is not insistent, not demanding, but rather a gentle offering, a soft blessing upon the sleeping world, and upon you, the quiet walker. It seems to draw out the stillness from within you, mirroring the tranquility it casts upon the landscape. Each breath you take feels deeper, calmer, as if you are breathing in the very essence of the night's peace. The journey is not to escape the world, but to find the stillness that lies at its very heart, a stillness that also resides within you, waiting to be uncovered like a hidden spring. You feel a profound sense of arrival, not at a particular landmark or a defined end, but into a state of being, a homecoming to a part of yourself that is always present, always peaceful, often just obscured by the noise of the day. This, you sense, is just the beginning of a deeper unfolding, a gentle immersion into the quiet mystery of the night and the self. As you stand in this moon-drenched clearing, allowing the profound stillness to settle deeper into your bones, your gaze, now accustomed to the silvery light and the deep shadows, drifts towards a subtle irregularity at the edge of the trees. It is not something that shouts for attention, but rather a quiet presence, almost a natural extension of the woods themselves. There, nestled amongst a small grove of slender bamboo that sways with an almost imperceptible rustle, and partially shaded by the low-hanging branches of an ancient gnarled pine, you see it, your own simple hermitage. It is a humble dwelling, little more than a small weathered wooden hut, its timbers silvered by time and exposure to the elements, much like the lichen-covered rocks scattered at the forest floor. There is no grandeur here, no declaration of importance, only a quiet dignity, a profound sense of belonging to this exact spot, as if it had grown from the earth itself. The roof, made of thick, dark thatch, slopes gently, its edges softened by moss that thrives in the cool, damp air. A single low doorway, unadorned, faces the clearing, and beside it, a small window, covered with translucent paper, glows faintly from within. A warm, inviting light that speaks of simple comfort and presence. It is the light of a single candle, perhaps, or a small oil lamp, its gentle radiance a stark contrast to the cool silvery moonlight that bathes the exterior. You feel a deep sense of homecoming, not just to a physical place, but to a state of being, a return to the very core of your peace. This small hut, your refuge, is an embodiment of simplicity, a testament to the beauty of enough. You approach it slowly, your bare feet or soft-soled sandals making almost no sound on the mossy ground. The air around the hermitage seems even more still, more concentrated in its tranquility. You notice the small, carefully tended patch of raked gravel beside the entrance, its swirling patterns echoing the flow of water. A miniature landscape of calm created with mindful intention. A single smooth river stone rests near the doorstep, a silent invitation to pause, to shed the outer world before entering this sanctuary of inner quiet. There are no fences, no barriers, only the gentle suggestion of a transition from the wildness of the forest to the cultivated stillness of this simple abode. Inside, the space is minimal, yet it lacks nothing. A worn sleeping mat lies neatly in one corner. A low wooden desk, polished smooth by years of use, sits beneath the window, holding perhaps a single bowl, a calligraphy brush, and a stone for grinding ink. The faint, clean scent of cedar from the wooden walls mingles with the subtle aroma of dried herbs that might be hanging from the rafters, and the almost imperceptible fragrance of old paper and ink. Every object, though humble, seems to resonate with a quiet purpose, a history of mindful use. This is not poverty, but a chosen simplicity, a deliberate paring away of the superfluous to allow the essential to shine through. The teaching of wabi-sabi lives in these walls, in the slight warp of the wooden planks, in the patina of age on the simple pottery. It is an appreciation for the beauty of things imperfect, impermanent, and incomplete, a beauty that speaks directly to the heart, bypassing the mind's desire for polished perfection. It reflects the natural world outside, which is always changing, always beautifully imperfect. The moonlight, filtering through the branches of the old pine, casts dappled patterns on the raked gravel, shadows shifting with the slow dance of the leaves in the night breeze. You feel the profound peace of this place seep into you, a peace that is not imposed, but arises naturally from the environment and from your own settled heart. It's like the surface of a still forest pool, reflecting the moon and stars with perfect clarity, because its waters are undisturbed. This hermitage, your simple dwelling, is such a pool. It doesn't strive to be anything other than what it is, and in that unadorned authenticity, it holds a profound power, a deep contentment. The paradox here is palpable. In this small, seemingly empty space, which holds so little in terms of material possessions, There is an immense fullness. The absence of clutter allows for a presence of mind, a spaciousness of spirit. When the hands are empty, the heart can be full. When the room is bare, the mind can expand to encompass the universe. It is a quiet rebellion against the notion that more is better, a gentle insistence that true wealth lies not in accumulation, but in appreciation, not in having, but in being. The nature-based image that comes to mind is that of a single, perfect wildflower blooming in an alpine meadow. It doesn't need a grand garden or elaborate care. Its beauty is inherent, its existence a simple, profound statement of life. So too, this hermitage, in its utter simplicity, is a perfect expression of a life lived in harmony with itself and with the natural world. You pause at the threshold, feeling the cool night air on your face and the gentle warmth emanating from within. There's a sense of preparedness here, not for any specific event, but a general readiness of spirit that comes from being deeply centered, deeply at home in oneself. This humble dwelling is more than just shelter. It is an anchor, a place where the mind can rest from its wanderings and the heart can find its true north. It is from this place of quiet strength and simple contentment that you can meet the world, whatever it may bring, with an open and unshakable spirit. The silence here is not an absence, but a profound presence, a living stillness that nurtures and restores. It is the sound of one hand clapping, not a riddle to be solved, but an experience to be lived. A peace that passeth all understanding, found not in grand philosophies but in the quiet rhythm of breath, in the gentle glow of a single lamp, in the profound embrace of the night. You are here, in this small haven, and in this moment. That is all that matters. The moon, high above, seems to watch over this scene with a benign and ancient wisdom, its light a silent blessing on this place of deep peace. You step across the smooth threshold of your simple hermitage, the transition from the cool night air to the slightly warmer, stiller air, within almost imperceptible, yet deeply felt. The single candle on the low desk, its flame a tiny, unwavering spear of gold, casts soft, dancing shadows on the cedar walls, creating an atmosphere of intimate tranquility. The paper shoji screen of the window diffuses the moonlight from outside into a gentle ethereal glow, mingling with the candlelight to create a luminous twilight within the small space. You move with a slow, deliberate grace, each movement an extension of the stillness that pervades this sanctuary. There's no need for haste here, no urgency, only the quiet unfolding of the present moment. Near the center of the small room, placed with mindful care on the tatami floor, is a wide, shallow basin. It's made of dark, unglazed clay, its surface slightly rough to the touch, its form simple and unassuming. This basin, you know, has been filled earlier in the evening with fresh, cool water from a nearby spring. Water so clear it seems almost invisible, a pure vessel ready to receive. And receive it does. Positioned perfectly beneath a small, intentional opening in the thatched roof, a tiny skylight to the heavens, almost like an eye looking upwards. The surface of the water in the basin now holds a perfect, unbroken reflection of the moon. It is a luminous disk, a silver coin floating on a still, dark sea, an exact miniature of the magnificent celestial body hanging high in the night sky. You settle yourself quietly on a cushion beside the basin, your posture relaxed yet upright, your breath soft and even. Looking down into the water, you gaze at this captured moon. It is so clear, so pristine. It feels as though you could reach out and touch the cool, smooth surface of the moon itself. The water is utterly still, its stillness a direct consequence of the stillness of the hermitage, the stillness of the night, and the stillness within your own heart. There are no ripples, no disturbances, only this perfect, luminous mirroring. This is the treasure of stillness made visible, a tangible representation of a quiet mind. The Zen teaching of Mushin, or no mind, comes to you not as an intellectual concept, but as a lived experience in this moment. Mushin is a mind not fixed or occupied by thought or emotion, and therefore open to everything. Like the surface of this water, perfectly reflecting the moon because it is calm and undisturbed, your mind, in this state of quietude, can reflect the world as it truly is, without the distortions of ego, judgment, or preconceived notions. The moon in the basin isn't trying to be the moon, it simply reflects it, effortlessly, completely. When the water is agitated, the reflection is broken, fragmented, unclear. So too, when the mind is agitated by worries, fears, or desires, its perception of reality becomes distorted. But here, now, there is only clarity, only the pure reflection. The nature-based metaphor of the moon in the water is central to many Zen teachings. The moon itself is often seen as representing enlightenment, ultimate reality, or the Buddha nature inherent in all beings. The water is the mind. The reflection is the phenomenal world, or our experience of it. The moon is always there in the sky, just as enlightenment or our true nature is always present. Whether we see it clearly depends entirely on the state of the water, the state of our mind. This simple basin of water, holding its perfect lunar image, becomes a profound teacher. It doesn't speak in words, but in silent, luminous presence. There is a subtle philosophical paradox at play here. The moon in the water is not the moon itself, yet it is a perfect representation of it. It is both real and unreal, an illusion and a truth. To try and grasp the moon in the water would be to disturb the surface and lose the image entirely. You would end up with only wet hands and a shattered reflection. Similarly, to try and grasp enlightenment, to cling to concepts about it, or to strive aggressively for it, is often the very thing that prevents its realization. The path appears when you stop seeking it so desperately, when you allow your own inner waters to become still. The moon, the truth, is already there, waiting to be reflected. You observe the reflection with a soft, unfocused gaze. The light it emanates seems to fill the small hermitage, a cool, gentle radiance that complements the warm glow of the candle. There is a profound sense of completeness in this scene. The vast night sky, the distant moon, the quiet earth, the simple hut, and this perfect miniature cosmos held within the humble clay basin. It speaks of interconnectedness, of the macrocosm reflected in the microcosm. Everything is here. There is nothing lacking. The silence deepens around you, punctuated only by the almost inaudible whisper of the candle flame and the very faint, distant chorus of night insects, sounds that merely accentuate the profound stillness. You feel your breath, a quiet anchor in this ocean of peace. Each inhalation draws in the cool, clean air of the hermitage, scented with cedar and old paper. Each exhalation releases any lingering tension, any residual thought, allowing you to sink further into the present moment, into the simple act of being. The moon in the water seems to pulse faintly with its own light, a steady, serene heartbeat. It is a companion in your quiet meditation, a silent friend. This captured moon is a treasure, not of material worth that can be locked away or hoarded, but a treasure of experience, of presence, of profound, simple beauty. Its value lies not in its possession, but in its perception, in the stillness it evokes within you. It is a gift of the night, a gift of the universe, offered freely to anyone whose mind is calm enough to receive it. And in this moment, your mind is a calm lake, and the moon's reflection rests upon it, perfect and serene. You are not separate from this scene. You are an integral part of it. Your stillness allows the moon in the water to be, and its presence deepens your own stillness. It is a beautiful, reciprocal dance of peace. The hermitage itself seems to hold its breath, a silent guardian of this precious, luminous moment. The deep tranquility of the hermitage, permeated by the serene glow of the candle and the perfectly reflected moon in the basin, enfolds you like a soft, warm cloak. Time itself seems to have dissolved, leaving only this extended moment of pure presence. The world outside, with its demands and distractions, feels infinitely distant, almost like a half-forgotten dream. Here, there is only the gentle rhythm of your breath, the steady light of the candle, and the silent, luminous moon resting on the still water. It is a state of profound contentment, a quiet fullness that needs nothing more. Then, a sound, so subtle at first, you might almost mistake it for the settling of the old wooden structure, or the sigh of the wind in the ancient pine outside. But it comes again, a soft, distinct rustle from the shadows just beyond the raked gravel, near the edge of the bamboo grove. It is the sound of movement, hesitant yet purposeful, breaking the deep enchantment of the night's stillness. Your senses, sharpened by the quiet, pick it up instantly. Your breath, which had been so even and deep, catches for a micro-moment, not in alarm, but in heightened awareness. The stillness within you remains, like the deep water beneath the surface of a lake, even if the very top layer is touched by a breeze. You remain perfectly still, your gaze soft, listening not just with your ears but with your whole being. The rustling comes closer, accompanied now by the faint crunch of a dry twig snapping underfoot. It is the sound of someone trying to move quietly, perhaps stealthily, but the night's silence is a betraying canvas for even the softest of intrusions. You don't feel fear, but a calm curiosity, a gentle alertness. The teachings of Zen often speak of meeting whatever arises with equanimity, without judgment, without attachment to a desired outcome. This moment becomes an opportunity to practice that very teaching. The shadows outside the open doorway deepen and shift. A form, darker than the surrounding night, detaches itself from the dense cluster of bamboo. It is human. The figure pauses at the edge of the raked gravel, seemingly assessing the small hermitage, perhaps surprised by the faint glow of light from within, or by the utter stillness that emanates from it. You can't make out features, only a silhouette against the slightly less dark backdrop of the forest. There is an energy about this figure, a subtle tension, a restlessness that contrasts sharply with the profound peace of your sanctuary. It's the energy of seeking, perhaps of needing, but it feels different from the peaceful seeking of a pilgrim. It has an edge to it, a hint of desperation or perhaps misguided intent. This unexpected visitor is a ripple in the otherwise perfectly calm pond of your night. The moon in the basin remains undisturbed for now, its reflection still pristine, as your inner state, your deep calm, has not yet been significantly agitated. You simply observe, breathe, and wait. There is no impulse to hide, no urge to confront. Your hermitage, a place of profound openness, has no locks, no defenses other than its own inherent peace. And you, its inhabitant, mirror that openness. The figure takes a tentative step onto the raked gravel, the sound of small stones crunching underfoot now louder, more definitive. Another step, and then another. They move with a kind of furtive care, the movements of someone who hopes to remain unseen, unheard. Perhaps they believe the hermitage to be empty, a deserted hut they might pilfer for some small item of value, or perhaps seek shelter in, unaware of its occupant. The mind can create many stories about the unknown, but you simply watch, letting the reality unfold without imposing your own narrative upon it. The paradox of presence is that by being fully present, you are prepared for anything, not because you have anticipated every possibility, but because you are open and responsive, unburdened by fear or expectation. The nature-based image that arises is that of a deeply rooted tree. It sways in the wind, it bends in the storm, but its roots hold firm. Your stillness is your rootedness. Whatever this visitor brings, whatever their intention, you will meet it from this place of centered calm. You hear a soft intake of breath from the doorway, and you know the visitor has seen you, sitting quietly in the candlelight, beside the basin with its reflected moon. There is a moment of absolute silence, a frozen tableau. The visitor, caught in the threshold between the dark night outside and the soft light within, is motionless. You can almost feel their surprise, their uncertainty. Their search for something external, something to take, has led them to a place where the only true treasures are intangible, invisible to the eye that seeks only material gain. The encounter is imminent. The quiet solitude of your hermitage is about to be touched by another, by a world that operates on different principles. Yet even in this, there is no real disturbance to the core of your peace. The moon still shines in the sky, the candle still burns with its steady flame, and the reflected moon in the basin, for now, still holds its perfect form. The teaching of non-attachment comes to the fore. You are not attached to your solitude, not attached to the uninterrupted peace. You accept what is arising, this new element in the unfolding tapestry of the night. The quiet dark outside, which a moment ago felt like a comforting blanket, now holds a different kind of mystery, the mystery of another human heart, with its own burdens, its own desires, its own path that has, for this brief moment, intersected with yours. The figure in the doorway remains frozen for what feels like a long expanse of silence, a silhouette framed against the moon-brushed darkness of the forest beyond. You can sense their internal calculus, the surprise and perhaps apprehension of finding someone within this secluded hermitage. The air in the small room, which moments before was filled only with your own peaceful breath and the gentle energies of stillness, now holds a new tension, the palpable presence of another consciousness, another story. You continue to sit, your posture unchanged, your gaze soft and welcoming, not challenging. You simply are. And in your simple being, in your profound lack of fear or aggression, you offer a silent invitation, not necessarily to enter, but to simply be, without pretense. Slowly, hesitantly, the figure takes a step inside. As they move out of the deeper shadow of the doorway and into the gentle, mingled light of the candle and the moon's reflection, you begin to see them more clearly. It is a man, his clothes ragged and travel-stained, his face etched with lines of hardship, and a certain weariness that speaks of a long, difficult journey, perhaps one with few rewards. His eyes, dark and shadowed, dart around the small hermitage, taking in its stark simplicity, its apparent lack of anything valuable in the conventional sense. They linger for a moment on the single sleeping mat, the low desk, the humble bowl. There is a flicker of something in his gaze, confusion, perhaps disappointment, or maybe even a dawning awareness that this is not a place of material wealth. His eyes then fall upon the basin of water with its luminous, reflected moon. He stares at it, his brow furrowed. It is likely something he has never encountered before, this deliberate, artful capturing of the celestial. He seems unsure what to make of it, this quiet, glowing circle in the center of the humble room. His gaze shifts from the reflected moon to you, then back to the water, a silent question in his eyes. He had come seeking something, driven by a need or a desire rooted in the material world, and he has stumbled into a space that speaks a different language, a language of inner riches, of intangible beauty. You offer a slight, almost imperceptible nod, a gesture of acknowledgement, of peace. You do not speak. Words at this moment might break the delicate tension, might impose a meaning that is not yet ready to form. The silence, though now shared and charged with a new dynamic, still holds a certain sanctity. It is a silence that allows for observation, for the unspoken to be communicated. This encounter of two worlds, your world of quiet contemplation and inner sufficiency, and his world of apparent lack and outward seeking, hangs suspended in the still night air. The Zen teaching of shikantaza, or just sitting, often emphasizes the importance of being fully present with whatever is, without trying to change it or escape from it. In this moment, you are just sitting with the presence of this unexpected visitor. You are not judging him for his ragged appearance or his presumed intentions. You are simply aware of him, of his energy, of the unspoken story he carries. This acceptance, This non-judgmental awareness is a powerful force. It creates a space where true seeing, true understanding, can begin to emerge. The nature-based image that arises is that of a calm ocean meeting a turbulent river. The river, full of sediment and restless energy, pours into the vast, deep ocean. The ocean, in its immense stillness and depth, is not overwhelmed by the river. It receives it, and gradually the turbulence subsides, the sediment settles. Your peace, your inner stillness, is like that ocean. The visitor, with his restless energy, is like the river. You do not try to stop him or dam his flow, but simply meet him with the vastness of your own equanimity. He shuffles his feet, a small, nervous movement. The silence stretches, filled only by the soft hiss of the candle and the distant rhythmic chirping of crickets, which suddenly seems louder, more prominent in the charged atmosphere. He clears his throat, as if preparing to speak, perhaps to explain his presence, to make a demand, or to offer an apology. But he remains silent, his gaze still drawn, almost magnetically, to the moon in the water. It is a point of stillness in his restless world, a beacon of pure light in the dimness of his current path. The philosophical paradox here is that in true emptiness, there is room for everything. Your hermitage, in its material emptiness, can hold the profound beauty of the reflected moon. Your mind, in its cultivated emptiness of judgment and expectation, can hold space for this visitor, for his story, for his need, without being diminished or threatened by it. It is by having nothing to defend, nothing to prove, that you are most invulnerable, most open. He glances at you again, and this time, there is less suspicion in his eyes, perhaps a flicker of curiosity, or even a hint of something softer, more vulnerable. The initial tension of his intrusion is slowly beginning to dissipate, subtly transformed by the unwavering peace of the hermitage and your own calm demeanor. He has entered a space that does not operate by the rules he is accustomed to. There is no confrontation, no fear, no obvious wealth to covet. There is only simplicity, stillness, and a strange, captivating light in a basin of water. This silent exchange, this meeting of two entirely different currents of human experience, is a profound teaching in itself. It demonstrates that true communication often happens beyond words, in the subtle energies that flow between beings. Your silence is not empty. It is full of acceptance. Your stillness is not passive. It is a dynamic, holding presence. The encounter is unfolding, moment by moment, guided not by agendas or desires, but by the simple, unadorned truth of what is. And what is, in this moment, is two souls, sharing a small candlelit room, with the moon as a silent witness, both in the sky above and in the water below. The man, still standing just inside the doorway, seems to wrestle with an internal conflict. His initial, perhaps predatory, intent has clearly been disarmed by the unexpected serenity of the scene, by your calm, non-reactive presence. He looks again at the reflected moon in the basin, then around the bare room, and finally, his gaze settles on you. His shoulders, which were tensed and hunched, seem to relax slightly. The hard lines around his mouth soften just a fraction. He looks like a traveler who has lost his way and stumbled upon an unexpected oasis, unsure if he is welcome, unsure even what to ask for. He finally speaks, his voice raspy from disuse, or perhaps from the dust of the road. I have nothing, he says, the words barely a whisper, yet they hang heavy in the still air. It is a confession, a statement of his perceived reality, perhaps an explanation for his presence, an admission of the desperation that drove him here. He gestures vaguely around the simple room, as if to say, "And you seem to have nothing either." You meet his words with the same gentle equanimity. You understand that his nothing refers to material possessions, to the coins he might carry, the food in his belly, the shelter over his head. It is the nothing of worldly lack. You offer a soft smile, one that reaches your eyes, a smile of understanding and compassion. You do not contradict him, nor do you pity him in a way that might diminish him. Instead, you offer him something that transcends the material. You make a slow, deliberate gesture towards the cushion opposite yours, beside the basin of water. It is a silent invitation to sit, to share the space, to share the stillness. He hesitates for a moment, his eyes searching yours for any sign of trickery or judgment. Finding none, only open acceptance, he shuffles forward awkwardly and lowers himself onto the cushion, his movements stiff, unaccustomed perhaps to such quiet civility. He sits uneasily, his hands clasped tightly in his lap, his gaze still flickering around, not yet able to fully settle. You then perform a simple, mindful action. You reach for the humble earthenware tea bowl that sits on your low desk, and a small, rough clay pot that holds cool, fresh water. Not the water from the moon basin, but water kept for drinking. With unhurried movements, you pour a little water into the bowl. There is no tea, no elaborate ceremony, just the pure, unadorned offering of water, the most fundamental of life's necessities. You gently push the bowl across the tatami mat towards him. "Please," you say softly, your voice calm and even. "Drink." He looks at the bowl of water, then at you, a profound surprise dawning in his eyes. He had perhaps expected to take something, to steal or to beg, but instead, he is being offered something, freely, without condition. This simple act of generosity, this gift of nothing but water, yet in this context, everything, sustenance, acceptance, shared humanity, seems to touch a place deep within him that has long been untended. His tightly clasped hands slowly unclench. He reaches for the bowl with a slight tremor, his rough fingers closing around the cool clay. He lifts the bowl to his lips and drinks, a long, slow draught. You watch him, not with scrutiny, but with quiet presence. As he drinks, a subtle shift occurs in his demeanor. Some of the harshness seems to drain away from him, replaced by a flicker of something akin to gratitude, or perhaps just sheer relief. When he lowers the bowl, his eyes meet yours again, and this time the guardedness is almost gone, replaced by a raw, open vulnerability. The Zen teaching of dana, or selfless giving, is embodied in this simple act. Dana is not just about material charity. It is about the spirit of generosity, the willingness to give without expectation of return. The highest form of dana is the giving of the Dharma, the teaching, but even the simple offering of water, given with a pure heart, partakes of this spirit. You are offering him not just water, but a moment of peace, a moment of being seen and accepted, a moment of connection. The nature-based image that comes to mind is that of a parched desert landscape receiving a sudden, gentle rain. The dry, cracked earth softens, and the dormant seeds of life begin to stir. This man's spirit, perhaps long parched by hardship and isolation, is receiving a similar kind of nourishment from this unexpected encounter, this simple offering. He places the empty bowl gently back on the mat. He doesn't speak for a moment, seemingly absorbing the experience. Then he looks at the basin with the reflected moon, his expression now softer, more contemplative. "It's beautiful," he murmurs, his voice still raspy but less strained. He is no longer seeing it as just a strange object, but is beginning to perceive its inherent quality, its quiet magic. The paradox here is that by offering what seems like so little, a bowl of water, a moment of shared silence, you are offering something immense. You are offering the gift of presence, the gift of non-judgment, the gift of human connection in its purest form. In a world that often measures worth by what one has, you are demonstrating the profound value of what one is, and what one can share from that beingness. The gift is not of possessions, but of profound, simple presence. And in this moment, in this simple hermitage, that is everything. He came seeking to take, perhaps, but he is receiving something far more valuable, something he could not have anticipated. A glimpse of another way of being, a taste of inner peace. The moon in the basin continues to shine, its light now seemingly shared between you, a silent testament to the beauty that exists beyond the realm of material striving. Your hands may be empty of worldly goods to offer him, but your heart is full, and from that fullness, this simple, profound gift flows effortlessly. The man sits for a while longer, the initial tension in his body having eased considerably. He no longer looks like an intruder, but more like a weary traveler who has found a momentary, unexpected respite. The silence in the hermitage has reasserted itself, but it is a different silence now, one that is shared, encompassing both your stillness and his slowly settling spirit. He occasionally glances at the moon in the basin, his expression thoughtful, almost meditative. The simple act of drinking water, of being met with kindness instead of suspicion, seems to have initiated a subtle but profound shift within him. He doesn't ask for anything more. No food, no money, no place to stay for the night. The initial desperation that might have driven him to your secluded dwelling seems to have receded, replaced by a quiet introspection. It's as if the peace of the hermitage, the undeniable serenity of the reflected moon, and your calm, accepting presence have touched upon a forgotten part of himself, a part that recognizes a different kind of wealth, a different way of being. After a period of quiet contemplation, he slowly, almost reluctantly, gets to his feet. He doesn't move with the furtive quickness he displayed upon arrival, but with a newfound deliberation, a certain dignity. He looks at you, and his eyes, which were previously hard and guarded, now hold a soft, almost tender expression. There is a flicker of gratitude, a hint of wonder, and perhaps a touch of regret for his earlier, unarticulated intentions. "Thank you," he says, his voice quiet but clear. It is a simple phrase, yet it carries a depth of meaning that transcends the two words. It is a thank you not just for the water, but for the unspoken understanding, for the moment of peace, for the glimpse of something beautiful and true. He makes a slight, awkward bow, a gesture of respect that seems both unfamiliar and deeply felt. You incline your head in return, a gentle acknowledgement of his gratitude, of his departure. There are no further words exchanged. None are needed. The encounter has run its course, a brief intersection of two paths that will now diverge again. He turns and walks towards the doorway, his steps no longer stealthy, but measured, almost respectful of the quiet space he is leaving. He pauses at the threshold, silhouetted once more against the night, and casts one last look back, not at you, but at the basin with its perfect, luminous moon. A faint sigh escapes him, a sound not of sadness but perhaps of a burden lightened, a perspective shifted. Then he is gone, melting back into the shadows of the forest from which he came. You listen to the sound of his footsteps receding on the raked gravel, then fading into the softer sounds of the forest floor, until finally, there is only the familiar symphony of the night, the whisper of the wind in the pines, the distant call of an owl, the rhythmic chorus of crickets. He has departed, perhaps changed in some small, indefinable way by this brief encounter. You do not know where he will go, or what he will do. That is not for you to know. Your part in his journey, and his in yours, is complete. You remain seated by the basin, the stillness of the hermitage settling back into its accustomed depth, yet subtly different now. It is as if the space itself has exhaled, returning to its solitude, but enriched by the echo of a shared moment of humanity. The teaching of impermanence is ever present. He came, he stayed for a while, and now he is gone. All things arise and pass away. Your peace was momentarily shared, perhaps even disturbed in its superficial layers, but the core of it, the deep wellspring, remained untouched. The nature-based image that reflects this is the surface of a pond after a stone has been tossed into it. The ripples spread outwards, disturbing the reflection for a time, but gradually They subside, and the water returns to its stillness, its clarity restored, once again perfectly mirroring the sky. The visitor was like that stone. His arrival created ripples. But now, with his departure, the waters of your hermitage and your heart are settling once more. You are left with the untouched serenity of the night. Nothing was taken from you. Your humble possessions, few as they are, remain. More importantly, the peace of your sanctuary, the profound stillness that is its true treasure, also remains undiminished. In fact, it feels almost deeper now, as if the act of sharing it, of extending it to another, has somehow amplified it. This is the paradox of true wealth. The more you give of it, the more you have. Spiritual abundance, unlike material wealth, grows through sharing, not through hoarding. The visitor's unburdened heart, or at least a heart less burdened than when he arrived, is perhaps the truest gift of this encounter. You didn't preach to him. You didn't offer him grand philosophies. You simply offered him presence, acceptance, and a bowl of water. And in that simplicity, something was transmitted. Something was received. He leaves you with the quiet satisfaction of having met another being with openness and compassion, without expectation or judgment. The encounter wasn't about changing him, but about being true to your own deepest nature and allowing whatever unfolds from that to be as it is. The moon continues its silent journey across the sky, and its reflection in the basin, which you now turn your gaze back to, is as bright and clear as ever, a faithful companion in the quiet solitude that has returned. The hermitage feels complete again, its peace profound and all-encompassing. With the visitor gone, the profound silence of the hermitage wraps around you once more, a familiar and comforting embrace. The energy of the encounter, the subtle tension of another presence, has dissolved, leaving behind only the deep, resonant peace that is the essence of this place. You turn your gaze fully back to the basin of water, where the moon's reflection shines with an unwavering, serene light. During the man's visit, your attention was naturally divided, shared between him and the quiet sanctity of your space. Now, you can return your focus entirely to this simple, luminous marvel. You observe the reflected moon. It is exactly as it was before the visitor arrived. A perfect, unbroken disk of silver light, floating on the still, dark surface of the water. The man's presence, his movements, his words, his departure, none of these have altered the moon in the sky, and therefore none have truly altered its reflection, as long as the water itself remained undisturbed. And the water, like your own inner state, had been touched only superficially by the ripples of his arrival and departure. The depths remained calm. This is a powerful illustration of the Zen teaching of the untouched mind, or the original mind. This is the mind that is inherently pure and serene, like a clear mirror, capable of reflecting reality as it is, without distortion. External events, the comings and goings of people, the ups and downs of life, these are like images passing across the surface of the mirror. They may be pleasant or unpleasant, desired or undesired, but they do not stain or alter the fundamental nature of the mirror itself. Your true self, your Buddha nature, is like this mirror, always present, always whole, regardless of the experiences that flicker across its surface. The moon in the basin, momentarily perhaps less the center of your focus while the visitor was present, now reclaims its gentle, luminous sovereignty. Its light, though a mere reflection, seems to possess a profound solidity, an undeniable reality. It is a testament to the enduring nature of truth and beauty, which can be momentarily obscured or overlooked, but never truly diminished or stolen by the transient events of the world. The visitor might have come with the intention to take something, but this reflected moon, this emblem of inner peace and clarity, was never his to take. It cannot be grasped, cannot be possessed, cannot be carried away in a thief's sack. The nature-based image that deepens this understanding is that of the vast sky itself. Clouds drift across it, storms may rage, birds may fly through it, but the sky remains unchanged, unstained, always present, always spacious. Your mind, in its deepest essence, is like that sky. Thoughts, emotions, sensations, encounters, these are like the clouds and storms. They arise, they pass, but they do not affect the fundamental nature of the sky itself. The moon, high above, continues its serene journey, its light undiminished by the earthly dramas unfolding below. And its reflection, here in your humble basin, is a constant reminder of this unchanging eternal presence. You feel a deep sense of peace settling over you, a quiet joy in the simple, profound fact that the moon remains. Its light is a gentle reassurance, a confirmation of the unshakable nature of inner stillness. The hermitage, too, seems to exhale, returning to its perfect equilibrium. The faint scent of cedar and old paper, the soft glow of the candle, the cool, clean air. All these elements combine to create an atmosphere of utter tranquility, a sanctuary not just from the world, but for the spirit. There is a subtle paradox here. The reflection is entirely dependent on the moon, yet it has its own distinct presence, its own beauty, here in the water. It is both an echo and an original. Similarly, your inner peace, while it can be cultivated and deepened through practice, is also a reflection of a larger, universal peace, a fundamental harmony that underlies all existence. When you connect with your own stillness, you are also connecting with this greater stillness. The moon in the water is a gateway, a portal to this deeper understanding. It reminds you that what is truly valuable is often intangible, immeasurable, and freely available to all who have the eyes to see and the heart to receive. You might have felt a subtle disturbance when the visitor arrived, a momentary ripple in the calm waters of your mind. But now, observing the steadfast reflection, you realize how quickly that disturbance passed, how easily the stillness returned. This resilience, this ability of the mind to return to its natural state of calm, is a key aspect of meditative practice. It's not about never being disturbed, but about not being defined by disturbances, not being carried away by them. Like a skilled sailor who adjusts the sails to the changing winds but keeps the ship on course, you learn to navigate the currents of life while maintaining your inner compass, your connection to the still point within. The moon in the basin seems to glow with an even softer, more profound light now, as if it too is breathing in the renewed stillness of the hermitage. It is a silent teacher, offering its wisdom without words, simply by being what it is, a perfect reflection of a distant, luminous truth. And you, its quiet observer, receive this teaching not as an intellectual concept, but as a direct experience, a felt sense of peace, clarity, and unwavering presence. The night deepens, the stars outside grow brighter in the inky sky, and within your simple hut, the reflected moon continues its serene vigil, a beacon of untouchable, unstealable light. As you continue to gaze at the serene reflection of the moon in the basin, a profound realization begins to crystallize within you, gently, like dew forming on a leaf in the cool night air. The visitor, who came perhaps with the intention of taking something of material value, departed with empty hands, yet he may have carried away something far more precious, a seed of peace, a moment of unexpected grace. And you, who offered him nothing more than water and presence, find yourself in possession of an even deeper understanding of true wealth. The moon, reflected so perfectly in the still water, becomes a symbol not just of enlightenment or tranquility, but of the ultimate unstealable jewel. This jewel is not a physical object. It cannot be locked in a chest, buried in the earth, or traded in the marketplace. It is the jewel of your own innate awareness, your own capacity for peace, your own unshakable presence. This is the true treasure that the Zen masters speak of, the pearl beyond price that resides within each being. The visitor, searching for external gain, could not see it, could not grasp it, because he was looking in the wrong place, with the wrong eyes. He sought to add something to himself from the outside, not realizing that the greatest treasure was already within him and within you, waiting to be uncovered. The Zen teaching of Busho, the Buddha nature, resonates deeply in this moment. This teaching asserts that all sentient beings possess the inherent potential for enlightenment, the intrinsic nature of a Buddha. It is not something to be acquired, but something to be realized, to be awakened to. Like a gold coin hidden in rags, or a precious jewel buried under rubble, it is always there, obscured perhaps by ignorance, by craving, by aversion, but never truly lost or diminished. The moon in the water is a beautiful metaphor for this. Its light is always available, always pure, even if the water, the mind, is temporarily muddied or agitated. The nature-based image that comes to mind is that of a vast underground spring. Its waters are pure, cool, and endlessly abundant, but they may be hidden deep beneath the surface of the earth. To access this spring, one must dig, one must clear away the debris, the layers of soil and rock that obscure it. Similarly, to realize your own Buddha nature, your own unstealable jewel, you must engage in the practice of clearing away the mental defilements, the habitual patterns of thought and emotion that cloud your perception. But the spring itself, the jewel itself, is already there, perfect and complete. The man who came to your hermitage was looking for something on the surface, something he could carry away. He could not steal the moon from the sky, nor could he steal its reflection from the water without destroying the very conditions that allowed it to appear. The stillness of the water, the openness of the sky. And even if he had disturbed the water, shattering the reflection, the moon itself would remain, untouched, in the heavens, ready to be reflected again once the waters calmed. So too, your inner peace, your true nature, cannot be stolen. It can be temporarily obscured, your mind can be agitated, but the fundamental essence of your being remains pristine, inviolable. This realization brings with it a profound sense of freedom and security. If your true wealth is internal, if it is an inherent part of your being, then it cannot be threatened by external circumstances, loss, change, disappointment. These are inevitable aspects of life, but they cannot touch the unstealable jewel within. This is a deep and abiding peace, a peace that is not dependent on having or not having, on success or failure, on praise or blame. It is a peace that simply is. The paradox is that this most precious of all jewels is not rare or exclusive. It is universally available, present in every being, in every moment. Yet, it is often the most overlooked, the most undervalued, in a world that prioritizes external achievements and material possessions. It is like the air we breathe, essential for life, always present, yet often taken for granted until our breathing is somehow compromised. The path to recognizing this jewel is not one of acquisition, but of recognition, of remembering what has always been there. You look at the reflected moon, its serene light filling your small hermitage. It is a constant reminder of this inner truth. It is beautiful, yes, but its true value lies in what it represents, the clarity, the stillness, the unshakable peace of your own true nature. This is the treasure that no one can take from you, because it is not separate from you. It is you in your most essential, luminous form. This understanding doesn't lead to arrogance or a sense of superiority, but to a deep humility, a profound gratitude for the gift of being, for the inherent richness of consciousness itself. The encounter with the visitor, which could have been a moment of fear or conflict, has instead become a powerful teaching, a confirmation of this ancient wisdom. He came seeking to take, but he unknowingly pointed you towards the one thing that can never be taken. His empty hands, as he departed, were perhaps a truer reflection of spiritual wealth than if he had left with his pockets full of stolen goods. For in emptiness, in non-grasping, lies the key to discovering the boundless treasure within. The moon continues to shine, a silent guardian of this profound, unstealable peace. The night wears on, the moon climbing higher in the inky sky, its silvery light now slanting more directly through the small opening in your hermitage roof, causing the reflection in the basin to shine with an even greater intensity, a focused point of brilliance in the soft darkness. The realization of the unstealable jewel, your own inherent Buddha nature, settles deep within you, not as a fleeting thought, but as a profound, abiding sense of peace and wholeness. It's a feeling of coming home to yourself, a recognition of a truth that has always been present, patiently waiting for your awareness to turn towards it. This profound peace, this inner light, which the reflected moon so beautifully symbolizes, is not something you need to acquire or protect from the outside world. Instead, you realize it is something you carry within you, always. It is not dependent on the hermitage, on the basin of water, or even on the physical moon in the sky. These are merely skillful means, outward expressions or reminders of an inner reality. The true moon, the true light, resides in your own heart-mind. The Zen teaching of everyday mind is the way, Heijoshin Kore-du, comes alive in this understanding. The extraordinary peace and clarity you experience in this moment are not confined to special circumstances or meditative retreats. They are accessible in every moment of your ordinary life if you can maintain this inner connection, this awareness of your true nature. The challenge and the practice is to carry this moon within you as you navigate the complexities and distractions of the world, to let its serene light inform your thoughts, your words, your actions. Imagine yourself leaving the hermitage, perhaps at dawn, and walking back into the world of human affairs. The sounds of the village, the demands of daily life, the interactions with others, these will all arise. But now, you carry a secret, silent companion, the unwavering light of the moon within your heart. When challenges arise, when frustrations mount, when the mind becomes agitated, you can turn inwards to this inner light, this unshakable stillness, just as you turned your gaze to the moon in the basin. It becomes your anchor, your refuge, your constant source of clarity and peace. The nature-based metaphor expands. You are like a lantern, and your Buddha nature is the flame within. The purpose of the lantern is not to keep the flame hidden, but to protect it from the wind and rain so that its light can shine outwards, illuminating the path for yourself and for others. By cultivating your inner peace, by tending to this inner flame, you become a source of light in the world, not through proselytizing or grand pronouncements, but simply by the quality of your presence, the calm and compassion that radiate from you. This inner moon is not diminished by sharing its light. In fact, the more you allow its qualities of serenity, clarity, and compassion to flow through you into your interactions with the world, the brighter it seems to shine within. It is a self-sustaining, self-renewing source of well-being. The paradox here is that true strength and resilience come not from armoring yourself against the world, but from opening your heart to it, grounded in the unwavering peace of your true nature. When you carry the moon within, you are less likely to be disturbed by the shadows, because you are connected to an enduring source of light. The visitor who came to your hermitage, seeking to take something external, unknowingly received a glimpse of this inner potential, perhaps stirring a recognition of his own hidden moon. Your calm response, your simple act of generosity, was a reflection of the moon you carry within. You didn't need to speak of Zen principles or intricate philosophies. Your being was the teaching. This is the most potent form of sharing the Dharma, not through words alone, but through living embodiment. As the night deepens further, and the first faint hints of pre-dawn stillness begin to permeate the air, you feel a profound integration. The boundary between the moon in the sky, the moon in the water, and the moon in your heart begins to dissolve. They are all one moon, one light, manifesting in different forms, at different levels of reality. This is the essence of non-duality, the understanding that the apparent separation between self and other, between inner and outer, is an illusion. All is interconnected. All is one. The peace you feel now is not a temporary state, contingent on external conditions. It is a quality of being that you can cultivate and carry with you, wherever you go, whatever you do. It is the unstealable jewel, shining brightly within the sanctuary of your own heart. The journey to the hermitage, the encounter with the visitor, the contemplation of the reflected moon, all these have been skillful means, guiding you to this simple, profound realization. The true source of peace, of light, of unwavering presence, is already within you. It is your birthright, your essential nature. All that is required is to turn your awareness inwards, to recognize it, to nurture it, and to allow its gentle light to illuminate your life. The moon, your constant, unshakable companion, now resides not just in the sky or in the water, but at the very core of your being, a silent, luminous presence guiding you always towards peace. The candle flame flickers softly, its golden light growing more tender as the depths of night yield to the approaching dawn. The moon in the basin, once so bright, now seems to soften, its edges less defined, merging gently with the still, dark water. The sharp clarity of its reflection begins to dissolve, becoming a more diffuse, gentle glow, a luminous haze. Your breath, which has been your quiet companion throughout this journey, deepens further, slows even more. Each inhalation is soft, effortless. Each exhalation a complete release, a letting go into the vast, quiet space around you and within you. The boundaries of your physical form feel less distinct, melting into the surrounding stillness. The sounds of the night, the distant crickets, the sighing wind begin to fade, not into silence, but into a deeper, more resonant hum, the sound of the universe breathing. There are no more stories to tell, no more insights to uncover, only this profound, peaceful presence. The images of the hermitage, the visitor, the moon, begin to recede, like ripples on a pond slowly vanishing, leaving the surface perfectly smooth, perfectly still. Thoughts, if they arise, are like distant clouds, drifting by without attachment, without resistance. They too dissolve, leaving only spaciousness. Feel the weight of your body, supported, held. Feel the gentle rhythm of your breath, anchoring you in this moment of profound peace. There is nothing to do, nowhere to go, no one to be, other than who you are. Right here, right now, resting in this quiet, open awareness. Let the stillness embrace you, cradle you. Let the peace permeate every cell of your being, dissolving, dissolving into the soft, quiet dark, into peaceful, restful sleep.